Good morning. Can everyone hear me? Okay, I'll try and keep the mic in front of me. We were just talking about how easy it is for your hand to go off this way when their face is going that way. So we'll see how that works. I am Kathy Clary, and I'm part of the Goldtimers committee. I want to start off by recognizing that Saturday is Founders Day. And the company is 103 years old. Absolutely amazing. So thank you everyone for your service. Now I have an audience participation question. Very easy. Raise your hand for a yes if you're interested in this. But we have recently learned that the Bloomington Center for the Performing Arts offers tours. This building was constructed in 1921, specifically to house the Passion Play, which has been in existence, well, I guess it was in existence for 100 years. Their tour includes a look backstage and just all kind of behind the scenes. It is just under an hour. It does involve some stairs, but they have elevators. So if you have trouble navigating the stairs, that's an option. And so you all have the opportunity to decide for everybody else. And Leanne, if you could kind of help me get a gauge. So is this something that we should organize? Would you like to have a tour of the BCPA? Raise your hand if you are. Okay, so I think we could go ahead and pursue this. Okay. We are very fortunate. We have two great sponsors. One of them is UC Bank, and Brett Peterson and Taylor Morgan are over there. And we are also sponsored by Direct Travel. Today, Greg Watson, who is a member of the Goldtimers committee, but is filling in for Kimberly Rowat, is going to have a couple of comments about travel.
More than a couple of comments, but I'm going to cut down on what you gave me. Kimberly is on vacation with her family, and she will be back Monday. If you've got any questions or you saw something today in one of the brochures you're interested in. The one in Maine, I will stress that there's only 10 seats available. So if you picked up the Maine one, which is a bus trip up, spend the whole time in Maine, the area up there, you need probably get a hold of her fairly quick. What we've got, we've added is a Danube River cruise. If you saw that, that's the river cruise, obviously. And then we've got the Essence of Iberia and France cruise. Now this one starts in Portugal, goes to Spain, France, Belgium, and United Kingdom. It is hosted by Bill and Nancy Flick. Has anybody been on one of their trips? I just did it this spring and it was great. They do a good job. So that's a couple of cruises. They've also just added, and I should point out that June 12th, 4:30 at Bloomington Country Club, they're going to have a presentation of those two cruises. Also, they've added New Year's celebration cruise. Said it right that time, didn't I? Which starts right after Christmas, but you're actually doing the Caribbean. And then the other one will be the Flick trip starting in Portugal. Also added a Colette trip they just added was the 250th anniversary of America. So you're going to do Boston, New York, Philadelphia, Washington, D.C., Arlington, and Mount Vernon. So that'll be in the fall of next year. And then we're excited, we're doing the Rocky Mountaineer. You've probably seen that advertisement on PBS. You start in Denver for 2 days on the Rocky Mountaineer. You spend a night in Glenwood Springs, get back for 1 day, and then spend the night at Glenwood Springs. And then you finish in Moab, and then you go visit the other national parks, finish in Las Vegas. So all these brochures and our summary will be out there after the meeting if anybody wants to pick one up. Okay, thank you. Nan's gonna.
Good morning and welcome, everyone. I think we're in for a treat today. Our speaker gave me this bio comments to read. I wrote something up, but I'm going to use his words. Sometimes it's not what you say that counts, it's what you don't say. Christopher Carter has had several careers. He's taught communications at the university level. He's owned and operated a horse farm. And for 17 years, he was one of the most popular entertainers in the country. He mixed illusions with people reading skills to make it look like he could read people's minds. Now he travels the country, teaching others how to use the skills of the stage to connect with others, and in his words, achieve the impossible. What does listening have to do with life? Everything. Please welcome Christopher Carter.
Thank you so much. Wow, it's great to be here. And by the way, I'm going to tell you before we get started, the very, very best part about my day comes when you hear that I'm a professional mind reader. I love that part because from this moment forward, half of you will never make eye contact with me ever again. Right? And I wish it worked like that. I could look into your eyes and pluck every little thought out of your brain. But really what I do is a mix between illusion and people reading skills. And so I'm going to get started today with a warm-up just to have some fun. And I'm going to scout the group and I'm going to look for somebody whose mind is ready to be messed with. And I already know who it is because I gave him a pack of cards to shuffle. Sure, would you stand up? Bring those cards with you. Join me up here in front and center. And would you show some love for a new friend of mine as we make him feel really good? We'll just stand you right there. All right, quick introduction. I'm Chris. It was Kevin, yes? Good. Now, not everybody saw this. I came up to Kevin about 20 minutes ago. I handed him that pack of cards. I asked him to shuffle. I watched. You shuffled for 20 minutes straight. I didn't know I'd given them to the obsessive compulsive helpers. Oh, Kevin, are they mixed? Good. You and I are going to begin with a game of body language. Now, as we play this game, everybody here is going to be scoping out your body language, so I'm going to explain the game to everybody. I will take the cards from you. I will turn my head. I'll close my eyes. I'll run my finger up the corner, and whenever you feel like it, you say stop. That's when I crack them open. Okay. My head is turned, Kevin. My eyes are now closed. Tell me when to stop. Please look at, think of it. Do you have it? Terrific. And I'm assuming you've also looked them over. They're the real deal, right? Then your job, Kevin, stare me down. That's right. Fake me out. Now, don't say anything about the one you peeked at, but look me in the eyes, maintain eye contact, and give me your best stone cold poker face. That's all right. All of you watch. See if you can figure out what gamblers call a tell. Well, if you don't play cards at all, we have red ones and black ones, obviously. Think of, I don't want to jump too far ahead of you here, Kevin. Look me in the eyes and just think of the color of the one you picked at. Don't say it, but think if it's red or black. Don't say it. Think black or red. Think red or black. Black. Perfect. Kevin, I'm looking for your pupils to dilate when I say the color of your card. And yours are in permanent dilation, and that throws me just, no, I couldn't see that. Here's what I did see, and I saw it twice. Twice I said the word black. I saw a sudden shift to the left, and I think that's a tell. So, Kevin, here's where I need an honest answer. I think it's a black one, yes or no? Good. Have a feeling you're going to be easy to work with. And that's why I want you to decide, but not out loud, whether it's a low or a high valued card. I like blackjack. So, and if you know blackjack, 10, jack, queen, king, ace, those are the highs. If it's not one of those, it's low. All right, look me in the eyes. Think of whether it's high or low. Now you're making it hard on me. I appreciate that. Think low or high. High valued card. Am I right about this, Kevin? Yeah, self-esteem issues. We're going to work through this together, Kevin. All right, he told me it's black. He told me it's a high valued card. Let's go for the suit. Do you know the suits of cards? Okay, then look, you said you don't play cards. I have to ask. Look toward me and listen. Black cards come in two varieties. We have clubs. Okay, it's a club, yes? Good. Really? Excellent. You suck at this. I'm so glad I brought you up. Actually, you don't. You have a very expressive face. You try to hide it, but it creeps out. So stick with me because I'm going to take this into the audience. I'll point to a few of you. I'll give you numbers. Now, if I give you a number, you don't have to come up on stage, but you do remember the number. Ah, perfect. Man's with armed folded. I love your body language. It's like, yeah, these Jedi mind tricks don't work on me. Actually, both of you. So you'll be 1, you'll be 2, and I love your top. It's so vibrant. So you will be 3. Would the 3 of you please stand up so that everybody can see you? Yep, it's you too, sir, in the purple here. Now, I'm going to wrap some rubber bands around these. I don't want to lose these. What is your name, please? Eric? Okay, I apologize. I have no motor skills. I throw, you catch. She is ducking, Derek. That is not a show of confidence. They are coming your way. Perfect. Now, don't bother taking off the rubber bands because we're going to keep tossing. Hold them on your hand face down. When I say go, Eric, I want you to crack open the side that faces toward yourself anywhere you want, but just one spot, enough to peek at the one you open it to, think of it, and close them up. So go, Eric, peek at 1. Now, hand the cards to this gentleman right here in front of you. Stay standing, but face down on your hand, crack it open, peek at 1 and think of 1. Good. And then toss the cards to this lovely lady right over here without killing anybody in between. You know the drill. Crack it open, peek at 1, think of it. And toss them back to me. I have no motor skills of any kind. Okay. And you got it. It's absolutely perfect. Now do stay standing because I need to watch the 5 of you, or the 4 of you rather. All 4 of you, put your hands flat by your side. All 4 of you, please close your eyes. I'm not going to mess with you, but I do want to watch you. And I want you to imagine that you're standing in a movie theater. In front of you is a screen, and on that screen is the image of the playing card you peeked at. So if it's black, see it. If it's red, see it. See if it's diamonds or clubs, hearts or spades, ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, I got some good stuff from Eric back here already. Everybody open your eyes. Eric, I'm going to describe to them what I saw, and you're going to give me feedback. I want answers to be number 1, yes or no's, and number 2, to be out loud so that they know we're on the same page. So I said the word even, and I saw Eric's shoulders relax, and then I did it again, and they dropped like half of an inch. I believe your card is a number card. Am I correct, Eric? Specifically, I think it's an even numbered card, yes? Good. Your name, sir? Todd, you did the same thing he did, but you also leaned toward me. Also an even numbered card, Todd? Good. And your name is? Teresa. I may have gotten you wrong because I was scanning them so much, but I think you leaned toward me when I said red. I'm not completely confident. I think it's a red one. Is it? Good. Then I know what to look for. So just think of the suit. Think of whether it's a diamond. Okay, it's a diamond. Yes. And then you're trying so hard to block me, and I appreciate that. So keep looking. Don't say it, but listen. Ace, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 4, 5, 3, 2, 2, 3, 4. Gotcha. So we come to my moment of truth, and Kevin, I'm going to start with you. If I get yours right, or what the heck, when I get yours right, you got the easiest job in the world. The moment I say it, I mean, the moment it pops out of my mouth, if I got it right, know that I got it right, go right back to your chair. That's how they know I got it right. For you 3, if I get it, the moment I get it, boom, take your seats. And for the rest of you, this is what we in show business like to call a warm-up, which is a fancy way of saying it doesn't always work. But keep this in mind. They have not taken anything. They've just been thinking of the king of clubs. And just to be cool, I'm going to try to get you 3 in ascending order. Thinking also, I hope, of the 2 of diamonds, the 4 of diamonds, and the 8 of spades. If I have named your card, please sit down. And we are officially warmed up. This is probably the best time to let you know something. Everything that happens in this program is for a purpose. Even if I do something that's just entertaining, it's to carry a point. And in this case, it's to give me an opportunity to share with you who I am and why I am here today. So here's my story. 35 years ago, I was teaching theater at the University of Michigan. I loved teaching, but I hated my job. I hated my job because I wanted to be doing this. I just wanted to be on stage. So I quit it. I moved to Chicago. I put an ad in the paper, said, I'm a mentalist. Could you please hire me? Nobody did. I will never forget my mom and dad, very, very nice Midwestern farm folks. They took me aside and they said, you know, your mom and I, we love you. We support you. And that's why you need to know that this is the stupidest idea you've ever had. You're going to be a starving artist. Well, 6 months later, I'm a starving artist. Suddenly the phone rings. It's an agent. He said, I got a job for you. And I said, that's great because my rent is due. What do you have? He said, well, there's a catch. The catch is you're going to have to travel. I said, no, you don't understand. That is not a catch. That is a feature. So where am I going? Paris, London, Tokyo? He said Mudfork, West Virginia. And by the way, that is a real place. It is where you will find everybody who has ever appeared on the Jerry Springer Show. It is a scary, scary place. He told me it was going to be a comedy club. That was his first lie. It was a biker bar. And here's how I found out, as if the motorcycles parked out front were not a dead giveaway. So I get introduced. I walk to what makes do for a stage. The room is loud, it's smoky, and I stand in the light, and there's this man in front of me, right where you are, and he stands up, and he keeps on standing. And he is the biggest human being I have ever seen. And he looks down at me and he says, okay, mind reader boy, tell me what I'm thinking. And I'm thinking, I'm going to die. I didn't know what to do. I had this whole panic thing happening. And then I saw a window of opportunity, and it was crazy and it was stupid, but I couldn't let it go. So I looked him in the eyes and I put my hand to my forehead. This is the universal gesture of mind reading. I said, I'm getting a woman's name. You were involved with a woman named Tiffany. Am I right? And I knew immediately that I'd hit it because his eyes got round. I said, Tiffany didn't work because she caught you cheating with Wanda. Am I right? Now his jaw just drops. And that's when I went in for the kill. I said, Wanda didn't work because you spent the next several years in the state penitentiary. Oh, it was beautiful. Whole audience went dead silent. I saw him turn to the crowd. I saw his hand point back to me. And all that I heard was, this boy is good. And you've got to love a guy whose entire life story had been tattooed all the way down his arm. And I took a lesson from this experience. And it's really the lesson I share with audiences all over. In life, in our businesses, in our hobbies, in our pursuits, success goes to the people who pay attention. Well, let's be a bit more specific. Success really goes to the people who pay attention to other people. Because what is life if nothing but an increasing series of relationships where we make friends and we build trust and connections? So that's what I'm going to share with you today. Some tools that you can use to build trust and connections. I'm going to teach you how to read people like an open book. But more important, I'm going to teach you how to use your own body language so that people feel comfortable and they feel heard. And the other thing I'm going to do, I'm going to do some very cool demonstrations. So let's segue into one of those right now. I'm going to try to tell when somebody is lying to me, which means I get to come through the audience right now and I get to look for somebody who has practiced at the arts of deception. Hi, how you doing today? By the way, you look really scared. I apologize. I just did that to scare you. I'm not saying that you are a liar, but I'm hoping that you will be in a bit. So I'm going to give you a little piece of paper. You've got a little pencil down there. Instructions are coming. Let's go here. What is your name? Charmaine. Is it possible, Charmaine, that at some point in your life, you might have done or said something that is not 100% accurate? Maybe. Good. You're a liar, Charmaine. Hang on to that. Get a pencil ready, and let's work our way over here. Hi there. What is your name? Kim. Look me in the eyes, but repeat the words I'm about to give you, or at least try to get close, okay? Are you ready to play the game? Say, Chris, your hair is thick and lush. See, now I know what you look like when you lie to me, Kim. So hang on to that. Instructions are coming. I call that getting a baseline. So here's what I get asked more than anything else on earth. Is it easy to tell if somebody is lying to you? And here's the truth. No, it's actually really hard. Unless, and here's where it gets fun, we can get you to think of something you don't necessarily want everybody else to know. So my 3 helpers, don't write until I tell you to, but just use your imagination. Go back into your childhood and think of the first name of the first person that you can remember having a crush on way, way back when you were a little girl. Doesn't have to be the first one ever, just the first one that pops into your brain. If you feel like you have to make up one, that's okay too, but it's much cooler if it's somebody you actually knew. Anyway, I'm going to turn back. Ladies, while my back is turned, please print that person's first name down there on the card I gave you. And while you are doing that, notice how quickly your nosy neighbors are peeking over your shoulder to check out who this is. Now, once you've done that, fold it in half. I want the writing on the inside. and then give it one more fold, and then hold that folded slip up to the light so you can guarantee for everybody in the room it's extraordinarily thick. You cannot read through it. And I don't want to touch it, but I do want to collect it. So drop that into my pocket, if you would, for me, please. Thank you very much. Charmaine, pretty sure you understand the recurring theme. Drop that into my pocket. Working our way all the way over to you. Go ahead and drop that into my pocket. Excellent. Your name, sir? Gary, right fist in the air. Extend your index finger. Drop your index finger into my pocket and stir. Yeah, that was a moment of intimacy you weren't counting on. Am I right about that, Gary? But they are well mixed, yes? Oh, I forgot to tell you, I'm not the only one who gets to play the game. Everybody in this room is going to play along with me. My three helpers, would you please stand so that everybody can see you? Because I'm going to pull one of these out at random. I'm also going to be reading it to the crowd. So ladies, don't respond verbally or non-verbally. We're going to see if we can tell a little bit about the woman who wrote it. Well, I will tell you one thing. She has the worst handwriting I have ever seen. Wow. So I'm going to ask you some yes or no questions. Here's the catch. I never want you to answer with the word yes. I only want you to answer with the word no, even if that means that you have to lie to me. Because one of you will be lying. You're going to say no when you ought to say yes. And my job is to figure out which one of you is the liar. So with all that said, do you understand the rules? Very well done. Always say no. It looks like, Otis, you know who you are. Always respond by saying no. When you were young, did you have a crush on Otis? When you were young, did you have a crush on Otis? When you were young, did you have a crush on Otis? Excellent. Now I've got a baseline, so I'm going to keep messing with you, keep saying no. Did you have a crush on Otis when you were younger? Did you have a crush on Otis when you were younger? Interesting. So now that we're friends and we've been acquainted, did you have a crush on Otis when you were younger? I mean, we can be completely candid. Did you have a crush on Otis when you were younger? Notice how trustworthy I am. Did you have a, I know you're telling the truth, but do you know how I know? She's the liar. And if I'm right, sit. Now, some of you will have noticed that I've improved my odds considerably. We're down to 50-50. Which means, that's okay, we're throwing them away, doesn't matter, which means that I'm going to give one to you, sir, and in a minute I'm going to ask you to open it up and read it, and this time I'm not going to be looking at your body language. This time I'm going to be listening to your voice. So I'll close my eyes and I will point to each of you, and your job is to repeat the words I have you say. No more yes or no, just repeat my words. Okay, who do we have? All right, I will start with you. Say this: I do not know Charles. In fact, I have never known Charles. Very well done. Now your turn. I do not know Charles. In fact, I have never known Charles. Interesting. Say, I do know Charles. Say, I do know Charles. Say, no, I'm telling you, I don't know Charles. Yeah, you do. That was your crush, if I'm right. Sit down. Oh, no, you're going to love this part. I believe that I know whose slip of paper is left in my pocket. So can we agree on a couple of things? First thing is this: we've not set up anything between the two of us. Secondly, I haven't touched it and I'm not going to. I do want you to take it out of my pocket. I want you to clench it very, very tightly in your hand. So if you would please take that, clench it in your fist, because rather than asking you to open that up and read it, I think this is going to be far more entertaining if you try to project that kid's name into my mind. So I'm going to ask you for a couple of rules. Rule number one, is this somebody you actually had a crush on? Rule number two, how old roughly was he? Just very roughly? Like grade level, 15. Okay. Look me in the eyes. I will close my eyes and I'll point to you and I will say go. And when I do, I want you to say his name in your mind, not out loud. That makes it too easy on me, but actually hear your inner voice. Are you ready? Let me get ready to. Look toward me. And don't say it, but think it now. I'm sorry, you said 15 years old. Wow. Even after all these years, I can still hear the passion in her voice. And I can hear you thinking, oh, Brian. Give it up for her. Give her a big round of applause. So, When I was 10 years old, my parents gave me a magic set. When I was a kid, it was basically a federal law that if you were 10 years old, you had to be given a magic set for your birthday. Most kids took it, they threw it away. Not me. I was obsessed. And everywhere that my mom and dad were, I would be a half step behind them. Mom, Dad, let me show you a trick. Let me show you a trick. Things reached their peak when one day my dad was in the shower. And I reached my hand through the curtain and I said, Dad, pick a card, any card. And he said, we have got to get this kid some other interests. So they put their heads together and they came up with a plan. They said, we're going to send him to spend summers with my Uncle Bud. Now, it was actually my great uncle, but my Uncle Bud was a U.S. Army colonel, retired, who had retired to his hometown of Hardy, Arkansas, a very, very small town in northeastern part of Arkansas. He played poker. And I got to watch. Now, I did not play, but I was ashtray emptier and pretzel fetcher. And it did not take me very long to realize that every time my Uncle Bud had a halfway decent hand, he would twist and twirl with his wedding band. So I came home from the summer and I told my mother about it. My mom's a psychotherapist. She said, oh, you have new interests. And she gave me some books on body language, and that changed my life. It's important that you know that not everything I do as a mentalist is through reading people, but much of it is, and I like the opportunity to share some of these skills with you because they help us connect better with other people. They help us really build trust and confidence. And so I'm going to share with you today 4 very, very powerful tools. Let's get this set up. See if we're here. And it appears not to be working. We will not worry about that then. I want you to remember these letters. P-O-P-O. That stands for proximity, orientation, pacifiers, and open body language. P-O-P-O. Now, that's how I like to remember them. These are 4 very easy to spot body language cues that do 2 things. Number 1, they have a powerful impact on how other people relate to you. You can use these things and change them and connect better with other people. And number 2, they give you an opportunity to tap into not what a person's thinking, but what they're feeling. And that's the most important thing to tap into. P stands for proximity. Here, very simple premise. We tend to move closer to people when they activate the reward centers of our brains. You know this when somebody is perhaps offering you money and you're going to lean in. But you also know this when you're at a party or an event and that person who just makes everybody feel good about themselves walks in the room. You find yourself naturally gravitating toward them. But when people make us feel threatened or they threaten our ideas, we have a tendency to pull away. If any of you ever find yourself in a sales position and you're making that pitch, when that person leans in, that's an excellent sign. But here's where I share it for the most important thing of all. If you're in a conversation with somebody and they start to talk about something that is emotional or important to them, you have an option. You could just sit up nice and straight, or at that moment, you could lean in just a tiny little bit. You may think that lean has very little power, but it's incredible. It will open that person up to you, and they will suddenly start to tell their whole story to you. O stands for orientation. This is the orientation of our body when we communicate with somebody. Now, this is the part of the program where I get to kind of toot my own horn. I had a friend take me out for dinner. I don't know, it was maybe a Chili's or an Applebee's. It was no place fancy, but someplace comfortable and fun. We were sitting at a table. Behind us was the bar. He pointed to a man and the woman who were having a lively conversation. And he said, what can you tell me about them? So I studied them for a few minutes. And I said, I'll tell you this. They know each other, they like each other, but they're not a romantic couple. She's involved with somebody, and that somebody is going to be coming into this room in, I would guess, the next 20 to 30 minutes. He said, there is no way you could know that. Took out his wallet, put a 20 on the table, said, that is yours if that happens. 5 minutes later, I got my 20. Guy walked into the room, marched right up to the bar, sat next to the woman, put his arm around her shoulder, kissed her on the cheek. And that is when I realized that the 2 men were brothers. She'd been sitting there having a conversation with her boyfriend or husband's brother. How did I know that? I'm going to explain it to you. I'm watching them. They're having a lively conversation. She's smiling, she's nodding, her face is looking at her conversation partner, but her torso is angled all the way out toward the door. We're great at lying with our faces. We do it in conversations all the time. We smile and we nod and we act like we're in the moment. Sometimes we're not. The rest of our body very frequently gives away where our actual attention is. because we don't know how to control it. We don't know how to monitor it. So imagine that everybody you meet has a little laser pointer that points out of their belly button. Where that laser pointer points is probably where their real attention is at that point. You can tell when somebody's distracted by the alignment between the face and the belly button. Now, why is that important to us? Because let's say that we're having a conversation. Maybe we're at a group and somebody breaks into that group and we say, hey, welcome to our group. Notice the difference. Welcome to our group. Or we could go, hey, welcome to our group. One signals that you're completely with them. The other says, hey, you're important to me. I mean, not as important as all these people. Orientation. Number two, pacifiers, or number three, rather, pacifiers. Sometimes we get anxious, and when our emotional energy ramps up, we like to calm ourselves down. Nobody likes being anxious, so we find gestures that help us calm down. Women with long hair, maybe you found that when you're anxious, you kind of curl your hair in your hands. Men with beards, at one time in my life, I had a full beard. Maybe you find yourself doing this. When I'm sitting down, I have my legs crossed, and if I get anxious without realizing it, I find my foot going boom, 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 boom. Some people tap their fingers on the table. Some people click their pens incessantly. I call these people communists. I hate that. All right, here's the deal. If you're looking at somebody and you see these pacifiers start to happen, then you know that they're in a state of emotional agitation. You don't know why, but now you've got a great opportunity to ask them about themselves. Open up, get them to tell you about yourselves. But here's the scarier part. When they're having a conversation with us and our pacifiers start to ramp up, they think, not why is that person's agitated? They think, why is that person uncomfortable with me? And so if you really want to connect with people, know where your pacifiers are, know what they are. And if you don't know it, by the way, do not worry. Your friends and your spouse, they know it. So you just ask them. Now, the greatest part about this is that it doesn't take much effort to pull them in. Simply being aware of it. For example, when my foot is bouncing up and down, oh yes, I find myself, my energy's passing up. So I just breathe a little deeper and I relax and I remind myself to be present. Proximity, orientation, pacifiers, and the big finish, open body language. How many of you have ever heard this? If a person is lying to you, their arms will be folded. If they're resistant to what you say, their arms will be folded. Hands up if you've ever heard this. Right, get it out of your brain. It's a myth. It's not true. What this is a pacifier. It's comfortable. It just feels good doing it. But it is true that when people start to feel just a little bit threatened emotionally, that they begin engaging in what we call body blocking behaviors. Here's the deal. You won't just see one. You'll see a cascade of them. Arms may be folded, the legs may be crossed, and it could be that they'll start to turn away. Maybe you'll even see a hand up in front of the face. So if you see that, you know that that person is uncomfortable. But while it isn't true that arms folded mean that we're resistant to somebody, it does mean that they believe that we are. And so the best way to make people feel comfortable with you is to make sure that you come at them with open body language. Open body language sends out a signal. I'm open. I'm vulnerable. I feel completely comfortable in my own skin, and I'm happy to welcome you into my space. That's it. PO, proximities, orientation, pacifiers, and open body language. So congratulations, you are now all officially body language experts. Oh, you didn't think it was going to be that easy, did you? I want to put these to the test. I want you to give an opportunity to experience them, not just hear about them, but experience them. So I would like you to find a partner to play a game with. Just pair up with somebody. Turn toward that partner. Now, this works much better if we're actually in pairs than if we're in three, but we can do it. So turn toward your partner, and if you have no partner, hands up, and we can put you with somebody. But turn directly toward your partner. Now, for the game that we're about to play, one of you will be number one, and the other will be number two. I like to use this high-tech method to find our number one. I want one of you right now to arbitrarily say, I'm number one. Perfect. And now we know who the very highfalutin people are in the crowd. Now, if you're not number one, obviously you're number two, and it really doesn't make any difference. But number twos, you're going to be the primary players of this game. I'm going to ask you a series of 3 questions. And you have a simple job to tell the truth with 2 of your answers, but lie with 1 of your answers. In other words, it's a game you might remember from your childhood, 2 truths and a lie. Now, number 1's, your job will be to play the role of detective. Watch that partner because they're going to be not answering to me, but answering to you. And see if you can use these little body language tools I just gave you to figure out which answer is the lie. Couple of rules before we get started. If you're the number 2s, decide in your mind right now, without telling your partner, whether you are going to lie on question 1, 2, or 3. Because I promise, if you don't decide right now, we're going to get to the end of this game and you will have completely forgotten to lie. The other thing I would like you to do is wait for me to say the words answer now. Don't answer ahead of time. I will say the words answer now. When I do, don't hesitate. You blurt out the very first thought that comes into your mind. So have your lie number in your brain because the game begins. Question number 1. If I could buy you a ticket to send you to travel to any place on earth that you have always wanted to travel to, but you have never had a chance to go to, where would I buy that ticket? And where would I buy that ticket, but where would that ticket take you? Answer that question now. Now, question number 2. Let's say I could buy you a ticket to see a show that you've always wanted to see. Maybe it's a particular performing artist, a musician, a comedian. Maybe you're a big fan of Broadway and it's a particular Broadway show. I don't care what the show is. All I care about is which one that you haven't seen but want to go to. So where would I send you? Answer now. Finally, question number 3. This is the tough one. Gird yourself for it. What is your father's middle name? Answer now. Perfect. Now, if you're number 1, so you're playing the role of detective, this is your opportunity. Take your guess. Tell your partner which one you think is the lie and find out right now whether you got it right or whether you got it wrong. Now, I have found through hard experience that when people get this right, they get it right for 2 reasons. Reason number 1, they already know their partner so well that they know what the answer is going to be. Reason number 2, they actually saw something in the behavior of that person that tipped them off. I'm not concerned with the reason number 1, people, but I am concerned with the reason number 2. If you saw something in your partner's behavior that triggered you, that made you say, aha, that told me that's the lie, I would like you to put your hand up high so that everybody can see. Now, I'm going to come around and I'm going to bring the microphone to you, and I would like to find out what it was that gave you away. So let's start with you. What gave it away?
Her eyelids fluttered when she told the truth.
Her eyelids fluttered when she told the truth and not when she was lying. One interesting thing about lying, we tend to think that liars make bad eye contact. In fact, most of the time, it's exactly the opposite. They're so busy wanting us to believe that they're telling the truth that they act out the role, so they even look them stronger. So you were natural, but suddenly when you wanted to be perceived as truth-telling, you tried to look like a truth teller. What did you see over here?
She just at the end just went, "Oh, okay, South Africa."
And that was the lie? Yeah, okay. So that it's a little bit of an example of a pacifier. You feel the energy taking up and then you just release it and let it go. Who else saw something? What did you see?
His eyes kind of went sideways after he was looking right at me, and then he
So his eyes shifted to the side. What that is an example of a shift in orientation. We feel ourselves being observed and we imagine we got to get ourselves out of there. And so we start looking in some other direction, actually believing on a deep unconscious level that that means we're going to be harder to observe. So, speaking of the eyes, how many of you have ever heard this? If somebody is lying to you, they will look down and to the left. Hands up if somebody's ever told you this. Good. But sometimes I get it told the other way. If they're lying to you, they'll look down and to the right. So hands up if you've ever heard this. So here's the truth. About 50% of the time, they will look to the left. And about 50% of the time, they will look to the right. And you'll have no clue which one is the lie, but close to 100% of the time, they're going to look a different direction from when they told the truth. See, this whole exercise was an exercise to illustrate this point. The main reason that we have a hard time connecting with others It's because we never paid attention to them in the first place. Now, maybe you're not like me, but here's how I am. I'm in a conversation, somebody's telling an exciting story, and then my brain jumps ahead to the even better story that I'm about to tell them. This happened to me after a show. I got off stage. I'm used to people flocking around me, asking questions, but there was a man in the audience who was going to be a keynote speaker for the next day, and everyone was flocked around him. So I said, hey, I'm cool too. And I walked up, and he was talking about an amazing journey that he had taken. And I was thinking, I'm going to tell him about my amazing journey. Here's the catch. He was Buzz Aldrin, the astronaut. And his amazing journey was, oh, hey, I've been to the moon. I'm pretty sure that my trip to the Wisconsin Dells does not stack up. It's natural tendency. So we have to find ways to put ourselves in the moment. In a longer program, I will teach a number of tools, but if we have a set of habits to remind ourselves to be in the moment with other people, then that avoids that habit of not actually paying attention. This is my favorite. About 6 years ago, I was in Denver, Colorado. It was snowing, crazy. I was in the airport. Air traffic had shut down. I don't know what you do when you're in an airport and the air traffic shuts down, but I read people. So I'm sitting there in my chair. Most of you won't see it, so I won't stay here very long. I'm sitting there, and there's 3 people in front of me. They're all men. They all come from probably the same company because they're dressed pretty similarly. They all have their legs crossed and their arms folded, and they're leaning in like this. And as I watch, one of them uncrosses his legs. About a half a second later, the guy to his left uncrosses his legs. And then the guy to his left uncrosses his legs. And I say, hey, I've heard about this. It's called mirroring. So I keep watching, and one of them reaches up, scratches his nose. You know where we're going with this. Next guy scratches his nose. Third guy, he gets really close, and then he breaks it off. And I am so disappointed when suddenly I realize I have just reached up and scratched my own nose. Without moving your bodies, try to keep whatever position you're in right now. You can move your eyes or maybe your head ever so slightly. Look up and down your row and notice how many of you sitting next to each other have almost identical body language. For example, your arms are folded in exactly the same way. Your arms are folded in exactly, you're pretty close because you've got the other leg out. One of the ways that we communicate to other people that we are the same, we're part of the same community, the same tribe, is we unconsciously mimic each other's body language. This is a great tool to put you in the moment. When you begin a conversation with somebody, just when you begin, sit down and try to adopt a posture that is very loosely similar to theirs, not dead on. Now, there will be people who say when they uncross their legs, you uncross your legs. When they put their hand up to your chin, you do the same. Don't do that. That is the best way I know to make somebody think you're a complete phony. Just sit down with them and adopt something similar because it reminds you at that moment to pay attention. And then continue your conversation, but a few minutes later, revisit it. If you find that even though you've moved, you're still in very similar body language, then what you realize is you have an incredible connection between the two of you. Use that to your advantage. Get them to talk about themselves. Make that relationship deeper. I would like to try another demonstration. And since you're wearing glasses, quick question. Can you read with those glasses on? Okay. Can you read with your glasses on? Okay. Would you join me? Please give her a big round of applause for coming up and helping us out. Do you need a hand? Have a seat. Make yourself very, very comfortable. Have you ever been hypnotized before? Well, relax. I'm not going to do that to you. But I'm going to try something that involves the power of suggestion. You see, in this book is an image that I'm going to try to project into your mind. Now, this is my very favorite thriller author. I love thrillers. It's David Baldacci. I don't know if any of you are fans. And by the way, this is my favorite one, The Camel Club. There is an image in this. I have 2 envelopes. I'll set this back down here. One of these envelopes describes what that image is. And hopefully when we're done, you will actually see it. There's a catch. What you will see isn't real. You will see something that doesn't exist. So could you tell everybody, I'll have you be a little loud too, how many pages are in the book?
596.
Good. And as we page through, it's not a picture book, right? Words. I would say that's about 300 words on a busy page. So 300 words times 596 would give us precisely a heck of a lot of words to choose from. I probably have some actuaries in the audience who could do that with their head. Tell me when to stop as I thumb through. Now, I want this to be your choice. In other words, I don't want you feeling pressured into anything. So I could stop or I could continue. It is up to you. Okay, tell me when to stop. Okay, there? Good. I'm going to mark this location so that you know this is where you wanted me to stop. I will have you sit on that envelope, slide it right underneath you. And I will open the book toward you. Can you see the page number in the upper right corner? Yes or no? Yes. Please read that page number aloud for everyone to hear. 293. Now, as you scan your eyes from the top, yes or no, is there a word that stands out from the others?
Yes.
Can you remember that word?
Yes.
Good. So you've stopped us on page 293. You're also thinking of a word, which in a minute I'll have you tell everybody. But I mentioned that I had created a prediction of sorts. Please pull that piece of paper out for me. And please take the book from me. Because that is a prediction of what I was trying to plant into your mind. You said 293. Tell everybody the word.
Incredible.
Open that piece of paper. You will see 3 sentences. Please read loudly sentence number 1.
The page with 293.
Sentence number 2.
The word will be incredible.
And finally, sentence number 3.
Crowd will go wild.
Make me work for this. I promised you that I would project an image into her mind of something that does not actually exist. So let me ask, do you really believe you saw page 293?
Yes.
Do you really believe you saw the word incredible?
Yes.
When I tell you you didn't see either of them, will you believe me?
Yes.
Open the book to page 293. There's a bit of a problem. Tell them what that problem is.
From page 291.
2.
292 and 293 has been torn out.
There is no 293. There is the torn fragment of what used to be 293. You're way ahead of me. I'm working toward a moment here. I tore it out of the book earlier today because it was the entire page I've been trying to project into your mind. You have been sitting on that envelope before you even looked into the book. I notice you have already started to pull it out, so go ahead and take out what you find inside. Why, it's a page from a book. Hold it up. Fits perfect, doesn't it? Good. Oh, and there's one word, only one word circled on that page. It's the only word circled. Would you tell them what it is?
Incredible.
That is yours to keep as a souvenir. You have just experienced a hallucination. Thank you so much. Give it up for her. "30 seconds. That's how long experts told us it took to create a first impression. They lied. Well, they didn't lie. They just did new research and they shortened it to 7 seconds. And then they did new research and they shortened it to 2 seconds. And then they did more research and now the short time is so fast, I can't snap my fingers fast enough. A 20th of a second. Within a 20th of a second of making eye contact with people, our brains are deciding 2 things about it. Can we trust them? And do they know what they're doing? And this is really fundamental to all relationships because we like to be around people we like and we trust. And both of these are the key components of that. It starts the moment we make eye contact. Now, most people think that when you make eye contact with somebody, you look them right in the eyes. You do very briefly, but then your eyes start to scan the face because otherwise it's too intense. We tend to scan that person's face in 2 possible areas, from the eyes to the chin and up, or from the eyes to the forehead and down. Each of these areas makes a radically different impression in the person that we're communicating with. About 60 or so percent look in the lower zone. About 40% of us look in the upper zone. If you habitually look in the upper zone, I guarantee that you will just have people tell you that will describe you as in power, in control, in authority. But if you look in the lower zone, they will tend to think that you're a warm, empathetic person. Now, there's no right or no wrong in this, but it is true that the people we're communicating with often want a certain style out of us. Sometimes they need us to be buttoned down. Sometimes they need us to connect. And so you can tell by how they're looking at you and you can reciprocate. The next thing we do when we look at somebody, we smile. And there's no right or wrong way to smile, but there is a true or a false way to smile. The false smile, the social smile, is all mouth. And we see people like this all the time. Hello, I'm so happy to meet you. No, you're not. You're a phony. The true smile engages the entire face. It's not just the mouth, it's the eyes. And when you see a true smile, there'll be crinkles in the sides of the eyes. Maybe you don't consciously know this, but unconsciously you do, and you will judge that person as being authentic and warm. So how do we do that? Well, we just try to allow our emotions to show through. Some of us are more emotionally expressive than others. That's okay. Just remind yourself that it's all right to show the emotions. Final thing we do in business when we greet somebody for the very first time is we shake hands. And so I would like you to turn back toward your partner, if you are still sitting next to them, and try to face toward each other as close as you can. I want you to reach out and grasp their hand as if you are about to start shaking. Right now, you'll just grasp, but I will tell you when to start shaking. Yeah, that's okay. You don't have to be part of the game 100% of the time. I want you to start shaking from the moment I say go to the moment I say stop. And when I say stop, don't let go. Just freeze exactly where you are. All right, start, go, shake, 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 freeze, don't let go. Notice where your hands are right now, because you've just told this person how your relationship is going to go. If your hand is palm down, you've said, I'm going to be the dominant one in this relationship. If your hand is palm up, you've said, I'm going to let you walk all over me in this relationship. But if your hands are perpendicular to the ground, what you've said is, you and I are partners. You can let go. Yeah. Is it all down? Now, obviously, I'm exaggerating a little bit for humorous effect. But one of the things we do when we greet somebody for the first time, and it happens unconsciously, it's completely out of our realm of awareness, is we begin kind of a game to establish pecking order. Who's going to be in control? And this happens a lot, especially when men encounter women for the first time. How many women have ever had a guy reach out and give you that little wet limp thing? Right. And it drives you crazy because it's incredibly patronizing. It sends out a message. Hey, I could easily crush your frail hand, but I won't. No. When we encounter people as genuine equals, that's how we build trust. Another one that I see a lot. Can I have you join me front and center very briefly? Yeah, give him some applause for coming up and helping us out. And I'm Chris. You are? Jim, good to meet you. Another one I see a lot is this. Good to meet you. Now, we get that in life in a variety of, sometimes it's our grandmother. Would you like some cookies? Sometimes it's our minister. Thank you for coming to the service today. Sometimes it's somebody who wants to control us or manipulate us in some way. Thank you for giving to my campaign. And I make that joke because I see politicians do this a lot. If it's not expressing genuine empathy, here's the problem with something like this. It's an example of control. It says, I'm going to let you be in control of the relationship. Just kidding. Give him a big round of applause for coming up and helping us out. Now, I've spent a lot of time talking about some listening skills that you can put to use, but I want to share with you before the final demonstration, the most valuable listening skill. I learned this when I was 50 years old. Well, actually, the day after I turned 50. And my friends, by the way, gave me a party with black balloons, so I was not in a good mood. And I walked down to the mailbox and I open it up and there's a notice. It's time for me to renew my driver's license. And I'm thinking to myself, this is just what I need. I get a party with black balloons and now I have to stand in line at the DMV. By show of hands, how many of you have ever had a really good experience at the Department of Motor Vehicles? It happens, yes, it happens. And it happened to me the next time I went. See, I got out of my car and it was sweltering hot. It was about 95. My glasses fogged up. I saw that there was a line, and not a little line, a huge line. And even worse, it was an outdoor line. Came out the door, wrapped all the way around the side of the building. So I go and I stand in line and I'm muttering to myself because I'm determined to be in a bad mood. I don't want to do this. I shouldn't have to stand in line. We go about 10 feet. I think this is a terrible idea. Why can't we do this entirely over the phone? And finally, I'm in front of a clerk. Her name is Sylvia, by the way. I know this through my keen powers of deduction. Okay, her nameplate is on the table in front of her. The moment she looks up to me, she breaks in this beautiful smile and she says, well, good morning. I am so happy to see you today. And I jumped back. I looked around. I didn't know who she was talking to. And then I realized, oh, wait a minute, she's talking to me. So I hand her my information, which is basic. And she looks at it and she looks up and she says, sir, there has to be a mistake. There is no way that you just turned 50. If you don't mind me saying, sir, you are looking good. And suddenly I'm thinking, well, yes, I guess I am looking pretty good. So the conversation ensues. We finally get to the point where I have to hand over my credit card. And that's when she sees my watch. She said, that is a nice watch. I have a son. He lives in Minneapolis. I bet he'd like one exactly like this. And right there in the middle of the DMV, she pulls out her phone and she snaps a picture of my watch to send to her son. And on this particular day, for the first time in my life, I walk out of the Department of Motor Vehicles thinking, I have got to do this more often. And then it got good. About 3 months later, it was my wife's turn. And I was in the car. I didn't go in. I waited in the car. Felt like forever. I expected her to be in a bad mood, but she slid into the car. She was smiling. She held up her hand. Her watch sort of glinted in the light. She said, my love, do you think my watch is beautiful? And I said, well, of course, I think it's lovely. You may not remember, but I gave it to you for your birthday. She said, no, no, no. You said lovely. The clerk said spectacular. And then do you know what she did? I said, let me guess. She pulled out her phone. She snapped a picture of it. She said, that's exactly what she did. How could you possibly know that? And I said, hey, I'm a mind reader. This stuff just comes to me. Now, when I talk about Sylvia, the first thought that comes to my mind is this. How many pictures of watches does she have on her phone at the end of the day? The second thought is this. How did this happen? How did she dream this up? What was the process? See, I think I have some sympathy with Sylvia because my very first job was the kind of job where you were dealing with surly people all day long. So I got a lot of sympathy. I know it takes a huge psychic and emotional toll. I think at some point, Sylvia said, I've got to stage an intervention. And so she decided, maybe I'll compliment the next person who's in front of me. And she came up with some cute little compliment that she thought would disarm, and it worked. Except that I can guarantee that the moment she was about to give that compliment, that she was scared. Because we all are when we try to reach out and make ourselves vulnerable. We're worried, how are we going to be judged by other people? So she took that little leap, she delivered that compliment, beautiful, it worked. And now she's got some confidence, so she does it again, but she ramps it up. And that works, and she ramps it up until after who knows how long, she has developed a superpower. She can make people feel good about something that nobody ever feels good. And to me, the irony is this. All this time, she thinks that she's transforming the people in front of her, when what she is really doing is transforming herself. By taking that risk, by just being a little vulnerable and trying to reach out. Sylvia did what I recommend that we all do when we're dealing with people. I call it the imaginary diary. If there are people that you deal with day in and day out, try to write a diary of the experience from their perspective. Just try to step inside their head and imagine, what do they like? What do they want? What do they need? More important, what do they need on an emotional level? And once you've done that, I promise you that you will be responding to needs that they have never even spoken. And at that moment, you are connected. So I'm going to finish with an example of that. This is my demonstration of the closest thing to mind reading that you will ever see in your entire life. I'm going to bring two people out of the crowd to help me. I promise I won't embarrass you. The gentleman with the beard in the back, could I have you come up and join me? Please show him some love for coming up and helping us out. And let's go over here. What is your name, please? Yeah. Rhonda? Rhonda, could you join us as well? Please give Rhonda a big round of applause for their help. And I'm going to have you stand in front of this chair, sir. Rhonda, I'm going to have you stand in front of this chair. I'm Chris. Your name is? Good to meet you both. So up until now, it's been about watching. It's been about observing. This time, I'm going to get rid of my most dominant sense, and it's just going to be about pure listening. Jim, you're going to, you know what? Actually, for what I'm going to do, I'm going to reverse you. So Rhonda on this side, Jim on the other side. This will help a little bit. Rhonda, I would like you to examine 2 silver dollars. Make sure that you cannot see through them, that there are no holes. Jim, this is a blindfold. I would like you to examine it. Hold it up to your eyes, up to the light. Satisfy yourself. Yeah. Apparently you've seen these before. Excellent. Put your silver dollars down there. You can get them later, but for now, put them there. Jim, I'm going to hand you the microphone. It's not karaoke. You'll just kind of aim it toward me and I'll speak. So what you're about to see is not even close to my favorite part. I'll be pulling these off one at a time, Rhonda. And actually, you'll be pulling them off and handing them to me. I want you to keep them stretched out. And when I need one, I'll hold up my hand and you'll just press it against my hand like that and then immediately pick up another. So get one ready and we'll just keep going. This is not my favorite part. First silver dollar goes about 2/3 of the way into the tape and then will be embedded into the socket of my eye. No, this is more than just a darn fine pirate costume. This has a purpose. Take your fingertip, push it up against your eyelid. I want you to see for yourself. You cannot open it with an object against it. Set that against my hand, Rhonda. Keep tearing, keep handing. Perfect. Yeah. Doesn't have to be too clean. Keep pulling, keep tearing. Next silver dollar goes into the tape, will be embedded into the socket of the left eye. Hand me the next piece. Hand that against my hand because this will go directly over the eyes. The next one, just keep on tearing every time you pull one and hand it. This one will go over those, forming a double layer, and we are going to stop after the next 2. So the first one will go down the right side. The last will go down the left. And rather than asking you to take off any more, Rhonda, don't be shy. Push these down on all sides. I mean, go for it. Push, push. Yep, sides of the nose. Make sure there's no holes. Okay, that was my eyeball, but well done. It was Jim. Hand me the blindfold, Jim. Above all of this is going to go a blindfold made of 4 layers of cloth. Rhonda, I think we should have 3 left. Am I right about that? Hand me the first and keep on tearing. Hand me the first of those and keep on tearing. Because the first will go down the right side. The next will go down the left side. And the last will go all the way underneath just for that handful of people who think that somehow this dude can see through his nostrils. Okay, you can step outside a little bit. Rhonda and Jim, neither of you two leave me unless I ask you. Rhonda, I'm going to have you have a seat in that chair behind you. Jim, there is a dry erase board on the table. I want you to pick that up and have a seat in that chair. You in the crowd, you're going to become the stars of the show. There are a bunch of index cards and golf pencils that have been handed through the crowd. You are going to print down 3 different types of thoughts that you're going to try very hard to transmit mentally to me. I'm going to give you 3 different categories. So we'll start with the easy category. Category number 1, at the top of your card, please print your complete name. First, last, etc. Whatever you think of as your complete name. I'm really not picky. Category number 2, think of something about your life that there is no way I could guess about you before the show. If you had your appendix taken out at the age of 4, you could print that down. If you have weird tattoos in a bizarre location, you could describe one. You go with the funniest thing that ever happened to you, the coolest thing you've ever done, maybe a name of a pet, maybe a nickname you had as a kid. But whatever you go for, make it specific, not general, because if I get this, I want you to be completely blown away. So print it down there in front of you. Try to send it to me. Number 1, your name. Number 2, a fact. Number 3, a number, but here's the catch, not a random number. I want this number to mean something to you. Phone numbers, birthdays, anniversaries, addresses. If you know a locker combination number by heart, excellent test. If you know your social security number by heart, no, don't go for those. Nobody ever does. But if you know a major credit card number, include the expiration date and the CCV. Name, fact, number, do not talk about this to anybody. Now, Jim, there is a round plastic tray on the table behind you. Do you see it? Hand it to me, please. Good, Rhonda, I'm going to hand this over to you. Would you please take it? Folks in the crowd, 2 out of 3 is fine. You don't have to be done. Turn your papers face down. Start to hand them down your row to which aisle is closest to you. Rhonda, when I say go, go through the audience, collect them onto the Trey, come back and have a seat where you are. Understood? Rhonda? Oh, she's doing it. Okay. So, Jim, hold the dry erase board toward you. You'll notice that there's a line on it. I want the line to be horizontal. Do you have it? Good. I don't know how many of you here know Jim, but I kind of thought we'd get to know him better today by testing his vocabulary. Jim, above that line, I want you to really largely, really boldly print any one word in the English language. I don't want the audience to see it, so keep it toward yourself. All that I ask is that you make it really big and bold, and obviously no four-letter words. Make it clean. Now, Rhonda, once you're up or maybe headed back toward me, just give me kind of a progress report. Let me know how you're doing. Yeah. Oh, terrific. Come have a seat. Now, Jim, slide into my side. I'm about to show Jim's word to all of you. When I show it to you, please do not say it out loud. I appreciate the help, but I want to work on this myself. So, Jim, I'll hold up my left hand. I want you to put the board in my left hand so that I hold it from the top. I want the word to face out to the crowd because I'm going to swing it around and show everybody. Good. I will do this slowly because, friends, this is your opportunity to see the sort of things that Jim likes to concentrate on. Based on your laughter, I'm officially terrified. Jim, a little trade. I'll give you the microphone. You give me the mark. Is it? Open. Put my finger next to the first letter of your word. Nobody speak it, but everybody think it. Give me the microphone. How old are you, Jim? A lot of 60-year-olds have a more advanced vocabulary. Sometimes they get 5, even 6. I'm getting 4 letters. Am I right about that, Jim? Yes. And of course, you knew exactly what I meant. No dirty, raunchy, or nasty 4-letter words. So this is perfect. I'm going to take a guess. We'll see how close I got. That has got to be it. Is that it?
Yes, that's it.
Give it up for Jim. So Jim, just set those down on the table, and then you can go back to the crowd. Give Jim a big round of applause as we send him up. Rhonda, how you doing? Are you with me? Good. Set up the tray on the stand, and tell me if I'm still facing forward, because I do get turned around. Good. Move my shoulders so I'm kind of pointed toward the crowd. This way? Good enough? Is this, no, if it's not good enough, let me know. Am I good? Okay. Slide the stand so all the papers are under my hand. Tell me when it's there. We're there? Okay, I just want to find it with both hands. Handshake from you. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Please give Rhonda a big round of applause. We'll send Rhonda back out into the audience. Okay, let's mix and shuffle. A couple things you better know. I'll hold on to slips very randomly. When I hold on to a slip, I let impressions pop into my brain, and sometimes the impressions will relate to you, and sometimes, I'm sorry to say, I won't get a lot. It will help me out tremendously if you focus on the easiest things that you have to send, which in my case are names. Focus on your names. I hear a voice. It's a woman's voice. I hear M and C. Is there anybody here with initials M and C? And if you have these initials, just shout out hello. Would you stand? If there's a microphone available, we'll bring it to you. Otherwise, I'll have you belted out. Have we met prior to this day? Good. So there's nothing prearranged. For example, you have not told me your name at any time today, correct?
No.
Would you concentrate on it, Mary? Would you say it over and over? That's what popped into my mind. Is it Mary?
Yes.
Hard C. Crawford?
Yes.
Terrific. Now, Mary, I asked everyone to focus on a number of some kind, and I don't want to know what your number is, but I would like to know, is it a birth date, a phone number? You know, what would it mean to you personally?
It was an address.
An address, perfect. So I don't want you to tell me the number, but I'd like you to give me the street name and the town.
Linden Street, Normal, Illinois.
Linden Street, Normal. Now, the way you phrase that, is this a current address? This is from your past, yes?
Pass.
This is where you grew up?
No.
Okay, but you had lived there for a while. Is there a mailbox in front of it?
It was a while ago.
Okay, that's fine. But I just want to know where the house numbers would, oh, boom, you just visualized. So they must be on the side of the house. Three digits, yes?
Yes.
Yes. 6,
Yes.
0,
Yes.
6.
Yes.
And I'm talking to you and I get an image of a cop pulling you off to the side of the road, asking for your driver's license. Has that happened to you fairly recently? Okay, then be really careful when you drive home today, because I got a bad feeling.
Hey, I will.
No, I'm about to move on, but there was something you were wanting me to answer for you. I think you wanted to know if I could tell you how many broken bones you have. And that's a trick question, wasn't it? Because you have had no broken bones, correct? Give it up for her. Give her a big round of applause for her help. KF, do we have KF in the room? Are you kind of in her direction then? Would you stand? I'm going to throw this, and I hope it will come in your direction. So it won't make it all the way. I want somebody just to pass it in your general direction. Now, once you get it, and I will keep mixing and shuffling. Once you get it, open it up. Tell me for certain if this is yours. Is it yours?
Yes.
Terrific. Introduce me to yourself in your mind. Say hello, my name is Kevin.
Yes.
Kevin Furman. Am I close?
Yes, you're close.
What is it?
It's Foreman. It's
I'll take
pronounced
it.
Slightly
I'll take
different
it.
than it looks. Yes.
And don't tell me your number, but tell me what it means to you personally.
It is a uniform number.
A uniform number, like a jersey number?
Yes.
Yes. Of somebody that you like and admire?
Yes.
Yes. Michael Jordan, 23?
No.
Then I'm not going to get it. What is the number?
It's 33.
50% right. Give it up for him. Give him a big round of applause for his help. First initial G, and somebody is popping in on his thoughts. G, first initial G. Last initial, I think, is S. Do we have a G, first initial G, last initial S? If so, say hello. What's your first name, sir? Oh, so you just go by G. Terrific. I'm sorry. When you stand up, does your hip just kind of go like this? No, I'm sorry. That relates to somebody. You saw Elvis
I did. I did.
live in concert, yes?
Live
Tell
in
me
concert.
your last name.
Sober
G Sober. That's what you go by.
or Scott.
Yeah. Okay. Terrific. You said George Scott Sober. Terrific. And I'm hearing a phone ring. Were you thinking of a phone number
Yes. It was
from now or from your past?
past.
So this is a childhood phone number, probably before we even had area codes.
Yeah, I didn't know the area code.
Right. I don't think any of us knew it as a child, but so do you remember this number? You do?
Oh yeah.
So rotary dial, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So we push, you just pushed a 2
Uh-huh.
and then a 4
Yep.
and then a 3
Right.
and then a 4, a 3, an 8, and a 3.
Yep.
Give it up for him. Give him a huge round of applause for his help. Dig around, try to find a
my
few
gosh.
more in the crowd. This is coming from a woman, but she's got a question. She wants to know, does her husband know that she's been cheating on him?
Oh, God.
Well, he does now. Okay. Okay, confession. Nobody was thinking that. I made that up. It will happen from time to time that I will make a really stupid joke. And when that happens, I just toss it out. But what I want you to do is look around the room when I make a joke like that and see who gets really, really scared, because it tells you exactly the same thing. See if we can find one that's cool to first initial is a getting two initials. D. First initial is a D. Last initial is a B. First initial D. Last initial B. Say hello. If you're not standing, please do. D. I just hear the initial D. What's your first name? Oh, that's probably why I hear it then. And I'm in my mind, I'm seeing a calendar and the pages. Were you thinking of somebody's birth date? No, a wedding date. Okay. What the one I'm talking to? What's your last name?
Balance, Ethan.
I'm going to try you. I'm going to try you. It may not be you, but if we have two, then I'll just, if it's not you, I'll jump off. So something about a date. Is it a wedding date?
Yes.
Yes. I was about to ask if you were a June bride, but all of a sudden in your mind you said, no, I'm not. It was October.
Yes.
October early, the 7th.
Yes.
Excellent. Can I go for the year?
Yeah.
Is your husband in the room with you, by the way?
Yes.
Okay. Did you know that he is going to take you on a cruise for your next anniversary?
He says no.
Oh, no, he is. And do you know how I know? I just shamed him into it in front of like 120 people. October the 7th, 1989.
Wow, yes.
Now, D, in my mind, I get you putting money out. I mean, there's a ton of, did you just buy something recently?
Yes.
A car?
No.
No. A motorcycle?
Yes.
Because in my mind, I heard engine noise. I don't know motorcycle. Now you seem to be like, okay, mind reader boy. What kind of motorcycle? But you just told me Can-Am RT Spider.
Oh my gosh, yes.
And I love it. Now she's challenging me. She's going, okay, mind reader boy, if you're any good at this, what's my middle name? And I love a challenge. Is it Lynn?
Yes.
Give it up for her. Give her a huge round of applause for her help. There are two silver dollars still firmly embedded in the socket of my eyes. Far more importantly, my eyebrows are staying. And that is the end of my program, except that if there are any questions, they've asked and we could do a little Q&A. The only thing I will tell you, and when you get to the questions of exactly how do you do all these things, you won't get those answers. But any questions about anything, I'm happy to oblige. So the question was, do I play poker? And the answer is, I do. And I'm a reasonably good amateur player. Here's the problem with reading people in poker. If you play it professionally, they use so many countermeasures that it's practically impossible to overcome them. If you play it casually, what you really know about somebody is how they feel about their hands. So if they're not an expert poker player, there's a very good chance that they may think they have something good when it turns out to be bad. And so sometimes that can work against you. Yeah.
Just, I guess 2 questions. Sometimes if people get on their phone when they're body language, when we're talking to them, like.
Yeah, exactly. So the question is about people getting on the phones and how that impacts your relationships with other people, right?
And then also, are you actually hearing the word in your head?
No. I talk to myself inside my mind and then I just go with what comes to me. The question was, do you actually hear a word in your head? I don't. I hear my own inner voice. I just try to hold a kind of an imaginary conversation with myself and I spit out what comes to me. So the question she had was, if somebody's like having their phone in front of them, what does this do to the perceptions of their body language? And the answer is it destroys your ability to build trust and connections. One of the most powerful things you can do, because everybody knows that we have a phone, is if you have an important conversation in front of them, take it out, turn it off, and set it on the table face down. And immediately they go, okay, I'm the center of attention now. And we have a question here. Can I tell if when I'm going to get a text or a phone call or when I'm about to speak to person? The answer for me is no. No, I read people and I mix illusions in with it. I don't have any like precognitive abilities. I do 2 things well. Under really limited circumstances, I can figure out what you've been thinking about. And under also limited circumstances, I can make you kind of think a little bit of what I want you to think. So it looks like I make predictions. Yeah. Yes. So his saying that he has a saying that sometimes people can deal with a lie better than they can deal with the truth. I think that's undoubtedly true for some people. Many of us don't want to hear the truth. It could be difficult to deal with. I will say, though, that nothing ruins a relationship quicker than telling a lie. You're much better off finding a kind way of presenting the truth. Just because we don't like to have difficult conversations doesn't mean we don't have an obligation to have difficult conversations. And I know that from actually a very hard-won personal experience. Yes. What makes it difficult for me to read a person? Apathy. Because what I'm trying to do is get somebody into an engaged frame of mind so that their emotions reveal themselves. So let's say hypothetically, I gotten Kevin up on stage and I got nothing from him. What I would do at that point is tease him until he had to challenge me. You're not going to get me. And the more he tries to fight, the easier it is to read. Because when you're getting somebody's nonverbal cues, what you're getting is their emotional state. It's literally the expression of their emotions. So if they're at a very low state of emotional expression, it's going to be hard, but that's okay because you can talk to people and bring it out. All right. Well, in that case, it has been a genuine pleasure. I certainly hope I've given you some fun things that you can use, and I hope I've given you some great entertainment. And thank you for having me be part of this.
Thank you so much. It was very entertaining. I have a couple of quick announcements before we're done. And I'm going to lead off with the fact that all of this information will be available on our website, in our newsletter, and I'll even be posting it in Facebook. First of all, if you're interested in a State Farm Museum tour, those will probably be this fall. Buck Farley has a very busy summer, so we're pushing that off. Second, we're planning a social event for September at Distill Brewery. And the big one is that our September 4th speaker is going to be John Farney. So we are really thrilled that he's able to join us. We do have some questions that the committee has provided him, as well as topics, things we want him to discuss. If you have something that you would like him to talk about and you want to let him know ahead of time, you can use our Goldtimers website, or you can reach out to one of the committee. Okay. So with that, thank you very much. Go practice your new skill sets on your friends and family.